So I'm just gonna take a different direction with this video and advise you to be stubborn. And of course, that comes as a shocker to many people. That comes as disrespectful to some people, and that comes just as weird to some people. The whole idea of being stubborn, because we've always been so used to following instructions and following the common trend and following things that just fit what we call is normal. And like, even though we might share like pictures on Instagram talking about like how special we are and how unique, I think many people find a lot of comfort in following the norm. So I'd like to speak against that, um, in my own way, I guess. So firstly, I think something that you have to be stubborn about is your university decision in the first place. I realized that most of my friends, like when they said that I was going to Canada, like everyone was like what are you doing in Canada? Like it's too cold. It's they were talking about like weird stuff. They were talking to me about like just weird theories about like how Canada is a bad country and how North America is not the right place to be, because I feel like in Sri Lanka, like many people just like are inclined naturally to go to Australia. And I mean, like I made my university decision completely based on my personal liking of an education system. But I feel like everyone that I surrounded myself with kind of placed their decision just based on the fact that it was what everyone else does. And to me, it's like I didn't really know. I literally only knew Taruyaki once I came here, who's a senior in my school. And it was it was definitely like a change of scene for me, and for many other people they were looking for comfort. But for me, I was like no, like I'm going abroad for me. I'm doing this for myself. and and I was pretty much being completely stubborn. I heard like parents coming and telling me. I heard educational professionals coming and talking to me and telling me that I have to go to the east. Um, but like I always imagined myself thriving in the North American climate, and I wanted to place myself closer to the Silicon Valley target. Obviously, like it's not guaranteed you working at anyone working at Silicon Valley rather, but I wanted to get closer to that dream. And I also just loved the education system in Canada as to how I could structure my degree and so on and so forth. Obviously, I get into that later, but I feel like I made the decision completely against so many people's like expectation, because many people thought that I'd head off to the east. And I mean, of course, like the east, or like Oceania, it works for some people, but I want to do it completely different. And I could confidently say that I've differentiated myself so much more than uh, many people I surrounded myself with. And I I feel like I actually reached like so many of my expectations in terms of learning and in terms of growing once I came here, which I wouldn't have received elsewhere. And that's a completely personal choice. But my point, because maybe someone else wouldn't receive the same sort of growth. But I feel like if people are stubborn about where they want to go to, obviously listen to what other people have to say. But in terms of, if you know something works for you completely, and if you completely trust that something works for you, I don't see why you should kind of like bend away from that. If you've done your research, if you are knowledgeable enough on something, I feel like you should trust yourself, your instinct, and your potential, and not anyone else's verdict on it. So I think university choices is something that you need to look into. Definitely explore, definitely read up on things. Don't just listen to anyone else, and do your own research at the same time. I'm not saying people's opinions don't go a long way. I mean, I give my opinions about certain things too, but I feel like your own research and your own understanding of where you want to learn and how you want to learn is extremely important. And secondly, I would say is just the way you lead life in both high school and university. I feel like the phrase of "you do you" is just so underrated in many ways. Even though we use it a lot, I feel like it's super underrated because the way you structure your life is completely up to you. You know, for me, I feel like I need a good balance of of academic work, a lot of practical work, and a lot of project based work, and a lot of experiences at the same time. I'm not one to sit down and study through my entire course load, and I'm not one to, like, just fret about my grades. I mean, I was like that in high school, but like my priorities have changed. And also, like, in terms of partying, I feel like many kids love to party, like especially at McGill and many other schools in North America. They love to party, they love to have a social life or whatever. But to me, like, of course I love it, love a social life. When I was on my gap year, I was doing all sorts of stuff when I was back at home. But over here, like, to me, my end goal is so much important that, like, things like partying and all of that becomes secondary. Of course, in terms of balancing and preventing the whole cycle of being a workaholic, obviously it's important to have good social life. But to me, like, making a sacrifice, sitting down and working on my stuff and actually building up on my end goals, like, I really don't mind doing that. And for some people don't like that. People don't like to work continuously. Some people like to work continuously. Some people like to, have fun. And that's a completely personal choice. But thing is, like, once again, I know I say it's a personal choice, but that's because that's exactly the point. It's a personal choice. It's completely up to you to decide what you want to do with your life. Whether it's a good decision or a bad decision is something that only you can tell yourself. But to me, I felt like I didn't move on with the crowd in terms of, going out and partying and doing all of that, because my priorities were different. um, and to me, that kind of caused a gap of, making friends and all of that initially, because obviously many people like bond over like alcohol. I don't do any of that. So it was, and even the way I speak, like my accent, I don't have like a North American accent. So when I came in, my social life was bad in the sense that, like some people just did not understand what I said. I think I mentioned this before, but it was difficult to, like, make friends. But I think I just constantly stick to what I was doing. I was speaking like I normally speak. I don't morph an accent. I don't, like, give a new accent. My social life, like, whatever, to me it was like, if I meet someone who vibes with me, I vibe with them. Like, I don't need to force this, because there's too much to life and so much to do that I don't have time to kind of like fake a personality just to get along with people. And people think that it doesn't happen. And, like, people post Instagram stories about, like, how you're unique and, like, how you need to, like, accept yourself and stuff like that. But trust me, like, when you go to university and when you're lonely, like, people do all sorts of stuff to just fit into, like, the structure. But I didn't. I can confidently say that I didn't. It was hard initially. It was hard to move along with people, but I found a very, very good friend circle with time. One who understands what my passions are and where my mind lies and where my priorities are and what I want to achieve. These are people that, like, at the end of the day, like, we're renting a house together and we're living together right now. So some things take time, but I think it pays off better when you're more authentic. And to me, I feel like the things I've earned for myself in terms of career, like, I absolutely enjoy it. I sacrifice going out. I sacrifice, you know playing around sometimes. I sacrifice so many things, but I did it for myself and I did it for my family. So, and what I've achieved out of that, the end result that came out of that, was so much more fruitful than 2 hours of, like, puking and getting wasted. So, once again, personal choice. And some people would disagree with me on that, but, and, third thing is just the way and that applies to high school too, obviously. Like, you, like, so there's that, you obviously know, like, if I don't know if everyone relates to this, but you know how people form social groups and how everyone's just so attracted to this one, the larger social groups and the ones that have a large amount of popularity or whatever. Like, don't do it. Just, like, I mean, I was the head prefect of my school, but I wasn't in that clique. I mean, I was at some point, and, it broke up and all that dramatic nonsense that high school gives you. It happened. It happened to me too. So That's normal. You don't. It's high school. But even in high school, never strive to be part of a clique. Just be genuine, like through the entire thing, and just constantly do that, because I feel like, and I feel like being genuine is and authentic is just so important. It just takes you a long way, because that's what differentiates you from many people. uh, you know what works for you, and I think with age you realize what works for you better. So just keep doing that. It gives you results, like, trust me. And the other thing is just the way you structure your life, like, for example, like, I'm considering doing more internships and extending my degree time. And I'm actually considering, like, strongly considering it. And some people would say no, like, finish your degree fast and get out, but once again, I feel like more experience for me works well. And sometimes you can't get qualified advice from people who don't know what works for you and what you want out of your life, because no one truly understands that, like, but you do, so you need to keep that in mind. And the other thing is just like your personal traits and like the criticism that comes to you. um I feel like that's such an important topic, and I want to just end on that. Like, I feel like over time I've received a lot of criticism about, like, my levels of confidence and the fact that I speak about my achievements and things of that nature. But once again, both those things have always worked for me, and some people say that it doesn't, and that I'm not being humble. I think I and what I do at that time is I kind of analyze where it's coming from, because I think what happens is that some people just say that just to insult you, and some people say that with just just their best intentions for you. So you need to filter those things out before actually listening to them. If it's insult, you just put it out of the door. But if it's constructive criticism, obviously listen to it. But sometimes it doesn't work. Like, even if someone gives you criticism, like, it's not always going to work, you know like, of course, like, there are so many things you should learn from other people, but I'm saying sometimes, like, you have to be stubborn enough to tell yourself that what you're doing, if that works for you, you just got to keep doing it. Like, I speak about my achievement, but I think speak about my failures too. I've spoken about my failures here. I'm very open about those things. But I speak about my achievements. I post it on LinkedIn and do all of that because I want a digital presence. I want a digital platform for myself. I don't want to be known as an intern, a random intern. I don't want to be known as a random full-time worker. I want to be known for me and my personality. And I just truly want to, like, have like a significant role in society. So, and it's important for me, and the tech industry, obviously. So it's important for me to establish a digital presence. It helps me. It has always helped me. Being confident has helped me. uh, like, all the way from, like, when I was running for head prefect, like, if this is in the context of high school. If I was running for head prefect, like, something everyone told me was, oh, you're going to fail the interview because you're going to come off as confident. But, like, remember that being humble and being confident and believing in yourself are just different things. Like, I'm humble in the sense that I don't I am not mean to people. I listen to people. I motivate people. I don't cut people down. And I always know that I have space to improve, and I do definitely do. There are so many things I need to fix in my life and progress with in my life. But I feel like that's being humble. Being confident and believing in yourself and telling yourself that you can achieve greatness and that you have the potential to do so is a completely different segment in general. So I feel like those are the few things that I wanted to, like, tell you, because it helps you, like, think to yourself that you think to yourself and analyze the kind of things that other people kind of put into your head, all the way from university to your personality to the way you structure your life in general. So I think that it's good advice, in my opinion. And if anything comes your way, in terms of criticism and in terms of you doubting your own practices, always reach out. We can always discuss. But remember, like, I feel like, obviously this is not something that many people tell you, but I think Sometimes in life you have to be stubborn, and you have to constantly be stubborn, because if it works for you, it works for you. That's it from me, and I'll see you soon. See you next week, rather.